Hello and welcome, all you dedicated UPSC aspirants, tuning in for your daily current affairs briefing.
Yes, hello everyone.
This is the deep dive for April 30th, 2025. It's part one for today.
And we'll be digging into the essential news, the developments you really need for your preparation.
Exactly. Now, some of these topics might ring a bell. We might have touched on them before.
Which is good. Consider it a useful revision. Helps reinforce things.
Definitely. Our mission today, as always, is to pull out the most vital information from the sources.
Save you time, make the complex stuff a bit easier to digest.
Precisely. And if you find this kind of targeted analysis helpful, please do hit that like button and subscribe.
It helps us keep bringing these deep dives specifically for you.
Okay, let's jump right in. First up, the Padma Awards.
Ah, yes. Big ceremony just yesterday, April 29th.
The president conferred, 4 Padma Vibhushan, 10 Padma Bhushan, and 57 Padma Shri awards. So 71 in total this time.
These awards, they have quite a history, don't they? Go way back.
They do. Established in 1954, actually. Same year as the Bharat Ratna.
Right. And they weren't always called Vibhushan, Bhushan, and Shri, were they?
No, initially it was Pehla Varg, Dusra Varg, Tisra Varg. Class 1, 2, 3, basically.
Then in 1955, a presidential notification renamed them.
To the ones we know now. Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri.
And each signifies a different level of service, right? Vibhush being the highest.
Exactly. Padma Vibhushan is for exceptional and distinguished service.
Padma Bhushan for distinguished service of a high order.
And Padma Shri for distinguished service in any field. So a bit broader.
What's interesting is the eligibility. It's very inclusive.
Yeah, regardless of race, occupation, position, or gender, anyone can be considered.
Well, almost anyone. There's an exception for most government service.
Right, but doctors and scientists working for the government are eligible, which makes sense.
It does, and typically they aren't awarded posthumously.
Typically, yes, but exceptions can be made in highly deserving cases.
There's also that 5-year gap rule, isn't there, for getting a higher award?
Yes, usually need a gap of about 5 years between Padma Awards, though, again, the committee can relax that.
And the nomination process itself, how does that work?
It's actually quite open. Nominations are invited from the public. You can even nominate yourself.
Interesting. So it's not just government recommendations.
No. Then the Padma Awards Committee reviews everything.
That's the one headed by the cabinet secretary, constituted by the PM and chair.
That's right. They make recommendations to the Prime Minister and the President.
And then the final list is approved, and the awards are usually presented around March or April.
Correct. Awardees get a senad, that's a certificate signed by the president, and a medallion.
And there's a limit, right? They don't give out hundreds every year.
No, the number is generally capped at 120 per year.
But that cap excludes posthumous awards and awards to NRIs, foreigners, or OCIs.
Exactly. And importantly, these awards are not titles. You can't use them as a prefix or suffix to your name under Article 18.1 of the Constitution.
A key point for prelims, perhaps. And the fields covered are incredibly diverse.
Art, social work, public affairs, science, engineering, trade, medicine, literature, education, sports, civil service. You name it.
Truly covers a wide spectrum of achievement.
Okay, let's shift gears now. Moving to technology and infrastructure. The National Supercomputing Mission, NSM.
Right. Launched back in 2015, a really significant government initiative.
Its main goal: to seriously beef up India's high-performance computing, or HPC, capabilities.
Yeah, enhancing computational power across the board, research, weather, security, lots of areas. And crucially, aiming for self-reliance.
Who's driving this? It's a joint effort, isn't it?
It is. Jointly steered by the Department of Science and Technology, DST, and the Ministry of Electronics and IT, IIT.
And implemented by
CDAC Pune, the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, and IS Bengaluru.
The big picture goal is really positioning India as a global player in supercomputing.
Absolutely. And we're seeing some concrete steps towards indigenization.
Like the Rudra HPC servers.
Exactly. India's first indigenously designed and built HPC-class servers. A major milestone.
And these servers power actual supercomputers, like Param Rudra.
Yes, deployed in Pune, Delhi, Kolkata. They're being used for advanced research now.
There's also the network aspect. Trinetra.
Right, the Trinetra high-speed network. It connects these systems, offering speeds up to 200 Gbps. It's being rolled out in phases.
And then there's the AI side of things. Aerowatt.
Ah, yes, the AI Supercomputing Initiative. Aerowatt is meant to be a common AI computing platform.
For whom? Startups? Researchers?
Primarily, yes. Startups, academic researchers, innovation hubs, giving them access to serious AI processing power. The proof-of-concept system itself boasts 200 petaflops, and it's scalable up to potentially 790.
200 petaflops. That's a massive amount of computational power for AI tasks.
It is. And AirWatt actually ranked 75th in the top 500 global supercomputing list back at ISC 2023.
That's quite an achievement. Puts India firmly on the global AI map.
Definitely. And speaking of milestones, remember Param Shive?
Back in 2019 at IIT-BHU.
Yes. That was the very first indigenous supercomputer installed under the NSM.
A landmark moment for the mission.
And then Param Pravaga followed in 2022 at IC Bengaluru.
Which is even more powerful, right?
Significantly, around 3.3 petaflops, making it one of the largest academic supercomputers in India.
Empowering a whole lot of research, I imagine.
Absolutely, from climate science to materials research.
Okay, let's turn to the financial side, specifically investor protection, the IEPFA.
The Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority.
They've recently signed an OU with Kotak Mahindra Bank and launched something called Niveshak Shavir.
Yes, Niveshak Shavir. The aim is all about boosting digital investor awareness and financial literacy.
So what exactly is the IEPFA? It was set up under the Companies Act.
That's right. Established in 2016 under the Companies Act, 2013. Its job is twofold: manage the Investor Education and Protection Fund itself and promote investor awareness and protection.
And the nodal ministry is?
Ministry of Corporate Affairs, MCA.
Where does the money in this fund actually come from?
It's essentially unclaimed money. Things like unpaid dividends, application money that was due for refund but never claimed, matured deposits, matured debentures.
Interest accrued on those amounts.
Exactly. Plus any grants or donations. If it's unclaimed for 7 years, it generally goes into the IEPF.
Got it. And this Niveshak Shavir initiative, it's specifically about reclaiming funds.
Yes, it's a joint effort with SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, trying to make it simpler for people to get back unclaimed dividends and shares.
How are they doing that? With these kiosks?
Yeah, the plan is to set up one-stop kiosks run by companies and their registrars and transfer agents, RTAs, in cities where there are many investors with unclaimed dividends.
Starting with Mumbai and Ahmedabad this May.
Right. These camps will offer practical help.
Like updating KYC details or
Right.
nomination information.
Precisely. Checking claim status, even getting help with grievances in real time.
The idea is to cut out the middleman, perhaps. Reduce the hassle and potential for fraud.
That seems to be the main goal. Make it direct, accessible, and less prone to issues.
They're even using tech like a QR code-based Google form for pre-registration.
Yes, with support from IKI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and SEBI's regional offices to spread the word.
Sounds like a practical step to help investors. Okay, shifting focus again, this time globally. Military spending.
The latest SIPRI report, Trends in World Military Expenditure 2024.
And a key finding grabbing headlines here in India. Our military spending was nearly 9 times higher than Pakistan's last year.
Yes, that's according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute's analysis.
What were the big global trends from the report? Does spending go up overall?
Dramatically. Global defense expenditure hit a new high of $2.46 trillion in 2024.
Wow, up from $2.24 trillion the year before.
Yeah, a significant jump. That works out to about 1.9% of global GDP on average.
And this increase was widespread.
Yes, spending increased in all regions, but growth was particularly rapid in Europe and the Middle East.
Any specific numbers for those regions?
Europe saw a 17% rise, hitting $693 billion. The Middle East reached $243 billion, a 15% increase. Lots of ongoing conflicts driving that, obviously.
And the top spenders? Still the usual suspects.
Pretty much. The U.S. remains way out in front. Their spending rose 5.7% to $997 billion.
Nearly $1 trillion. That's huge.
It is. It accounts for 66% of all NATO spending and 37% of the entire world's military expenditure.
Who else is in the top 5?
After the U.S., it's China, then Russia, Germany, and India. Those 5 make up 60% of the global total.
So India's number 5. What was our figure?
India's spending increased to $86.1 billion. That's up 1.6% from 2023, but a massive 42% jump compared to 2015, a significant long-term rise. And China.
China's spending also grew, up 7.0% to an estimated $314 billion. That's their 30th consecutive year of increased military spending.
30th year. Remarkable. And they account for half the spending in Asia and Oceania.
Tells you a lot about regional dynamics. Okay, let's bring it back home. Consumer protection, the CCPA.
A Central Consumer Protection Authority.
They recently took action against some restaurants in Delhi, didn't they? Over service charges.
Yes, they took suo motu cognizance. acted on their own initiative.
Against 5 restaurants accused of not refunding mandatory service charges, even after a high court judgment said they shouldn't be mandatory.
Exactly. It's about protecting consumers from being forced or pressured to pay these charges.
The rule is clear, isn't it? No forced service charge. Can't collect it under other names either.
Absolutely. The CCPA is there to enforce that.
Remind us quickly about the CCPA's basis, established under the Consumer Protection Act 2019.
Correct. It came into force in July 2020, replacing the old 1986 Act. The nodal ministry is Consumer Affairs, Food, and Public Distribution.
And its powers are quite broad.
Very broad. It protects consumer rights as a class. It can go after unfair trade practices, misleading ads.
Initiate class action suits, like ordering recalls or refunds.
Yes, or even canceling licenses. They can conduct inquiries, order practices to stop, impose penalties. It's all about enforcing consumer welfare.
And it's led by a chief commissioner and 2 other commissioners.
Right, one focusing on goods, the other on services.
Okay, important body to know. Now let's turn to environment and wildlife. Kuldiha Wildlife Sanctuary.
In Odisha, there was some news about a poacher being arrested there recently.
Right. So where exactly is Kuldiha?
It's in the Balasore district of Odisha, part of the Eastern Ghats, specifically in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region. Covers about 272 square kilometers.
And its ecological significance.
It's a key part of the Similipal Kuldiha Hadgar Elephant Reserve. Very important for elephant conservation.
And it connects to Similipal Tiger Reserve.
Yes, via the Nato and Sukupata hill ranges. Provides a corridor for wildlife movement. It also has numerous streams, like the Kuldiha stream itself.
What kind of habitat is it?
Yeah.
Forest types?
It's a mix of peninsular sal forest and moist mixed deciduous forest. You'll find trees like sal, jamun, piasol, mango, simul.
Yeah.
A good
There's
variety.
the fauna.
Yeah.
Any notable species?
Yes, it supports several endangered and threatened species. Asiatic elephant, leopard, gaur, mouse deer, pangolin, ratel, giant squirrel.
And birds, too.
Definitely. Endangered birds like the hill myna, woodpeckers, hornbills, and various eagles find refuge there.
Sounds like a vital sanctuary. Okay, moving on to bilateral relations. India-Bhutan.
The 6th Joint Group of Customs, or JGC, meeting was held recently in Thimphu.
Right. Before we get to the meeting, just a quick refresher on Bhutan. Landlocked Himalayan nation.
Yes, borders India, Sikkim, West Bengal, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and China to the north. Capital is Thimphu.
Phuntsholling is the main trade hub, right? Close to the Indian border.
Exactly. And India is Bhutan's biggest trading partner by far, handles about 80% of their trade.
Which means those land custom stations, the LCSs, are crucial. There are 10 of them.
Yes, vital for Bhutan's trade flows. Remember, Bhutan transitioned to democracy in 2008, but the king is still the head of state. Longest river is the Manas.
Okay, so this JGC meeting, what's its purpose?
It's an annual bilateral mechanism. The main goal is strengthening customs cooperation, making trade easier, and reforming procedures. Basically, smoothing the way for that vital trade relationship.
Makes sense. Now for something a bit different. Mackinac Island.
In Michigan, USA, the place with no cars.
Well, mostly no cars. Motor vehicles are banned and horses are everywhere. It's known for being peaceful.
Where exactly is it?
Northern Michigan, where Lake Huron meets Lake Michigan. It's not very big, about 4.35 square miles, lots of limestone cliffs.
And it has a long history.
Oh, yes. Longtime home of the Anishinaabe people. Then the French arrived, the British took over, then the Americans claimed it.
And much of it is a state park now.
Yes, Mackinac Island State Park covers most of the island. They've really tried to preserve an 18th and 19th century feel.
Hence the horse-drawing carriages and bicycles being the main transport.
Exactly. Lots of preserved historical sites, too, like Fort Mackinac.
Quite a unique place.
Definitely. Okay, next topic. Uturuncu Volcano in Bolivia.
The zombie volcano, I saw that headline.
Yes. Scientists have been studying it, trying to understand its unrest, but apparently alleviating fears of an imminent eruption.
So where's it located?
Southwestern Bolivia, in the Andes. It's a dacitic stratovolcano, quite tall, around 6,008 meters, the highest in southern Bolivia.
But it hasn't erupted in a very long time.
No, the last eruption was about 250,000 years ago, but still seismically active. There's a large area, 70 kilometers wide, that's been uplifting.
And it sits above a large magma body.
Yes, the Altiplano Puna Magma Body, or APMB.
So why zombie? just because it's active but not erupting.
Pretty much. It shows ongoing activity, ground deformation, gas release caused by liquid and gas moving around beneath the surface, linked to that magma body, but without actually erupting, hence undead or zombie.
Fascinating terminology.
Right. Finally, let's touch on JVI, the Vaccine Alliance.
I've been in the news trying to secure continued funding from the U.S.
Yes, highlighting the benefits JVI provides to the U.S. vaccine industry as part of their case.
So what exactly is JVI? It's a public-private partnership.
Yes, an independent one, set up back in 2000. Its core mission is improving vaccine access for children in the world's poorest countries, based in Geneva.
And its partners are quite diverse. Governments, WHO, UNICEF.
World Bank, the vaccine industry itself, research agencies, civil society, philanthropists like the Gates Foundation, a real mix.
And their main work involves
Primarily, supporting countries to access vaccines through funding, providing expertise, and importantly, shaping the vaccine market, negotiating lower prices, ensuring supply.
They've had a huge impact, haven't they?
Immense. By 2023, they estimated they'd helped vaccinate over 1.1 billion children and saved around 18.8 million lives.
Incredible numbers. And they were key in COVAX, too, for the COVID vaccines.
Yes, played a central role in that global effort between 2020 and 2023. So that brings us to the end of our topics for Part 1 today. Quite a range, as usual.
Indeed. From national awards and tech advancements here in India to global military trends, consumer rights, wildlife, international cooperation, and global health.
We hope this deep dive has given you, our UPSC aspirants, a clear, concise understanding of these key current affairs from April 30th.
It should provide a solid foundation for your further study and critical thinking on these matters.
Absolutely. And for a final thought to leave you with, consider how all these pieces fit together. You have local sanctuary issues, national tech missions, global spending shifts, international health alliances. How do these seemingly separate threads actually interconnect?
That's a great point. What are the underlying currents connecting, say, military spending decisions with national development goals or global health security with domestic policy?
Exactly. Think about those connections, the deeper trends, and the implications for India and the world going forward. Something to ponder.
Definitely something to mull over.
And on that note, if you found this analysis useful for your UPSC journey, please do give us a like and subscribe for more.
We'll be back with more deep dives soon. Thanks for tuning in.